Hello beautiful people, welcome or welcome back to the channel. In today's tutorial, I want to show you guys how to create a custom cart and checkout page similar to these, simple but yet custom inside of the Elementor using the JetWooBuilder. So this is going to include the Crocoblock suite, which I've been talking about a few times here on the channel. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and hop right into the tutorial. Okay, so first guys, you remember the previous videos where I showed you guys how to add these different types of products to the WordPress website. And then I also showed you guys how to do the Just Smart filters. Now, I didn't necessarily go over this shop page in depth, but I did show you guys in that video about the filters on how I created this page here. However, now it's time to work on the cart and checkout page because once you choose the product and you're ready to go to the cart page, we need to make this custom and fit our brand and our design, and we also want to get pretty custom with it. So let's take a look at the current out of the box Hello Elementor themes cart and checkout page. Let's see what that looks like. So right now this is our cart page. Super simple, it's super basic. It definitely does not match the branding. In fact, it only shows up this red color for the title link, and that's going to refer to our theme being Hello Elementor. And if I just scroll back up over here on the right side for the cart totals, we just have this basic cart totals section here, and then the proceed to checkout button is pretty basic and it's not on branding. We're also doing the checkout, so let's just go ahead and see how the first checkout page looks well. So that was our cart page, and this is our checkout page. Now the checkout page isn't bad, but it isn't quite good. Again, it's just not on brand with the brand of the website, which is these two shades of green here. And if we want to make it match that, we got to go in here and do some custom manual work. Let's go ahead and start building our custom cart and checkout pages. So the first thing to note or remember is to already have Crocoblock installed and activated on your WordPress installation. This is going to help us create the custom cart and checkout page using JetWooBuilder. If you do not have this already installed, it will not work, or you won't be able to do anything that I'm going to show you in the rest of this tutorial. The first thing you need to do is go to the update and installation. In here, this will show you all of the different Jet plugins that come with the Crocoblock license that you chose. Now, I do have a link in my description box if you guys are looking to invest into Crocoblock because you guys want to use it too because of my awesome tutorials for you. Then I do have that link in the description. I highly do recommend it, especially if you're going to be using it to make dynamic websites or super custom website. You really want to get really custom. I'd highly recommend Crocoblock suite. It is a bit of a learning curve, but that's why you're here right now and subscribe to my channel. Now, to make the custom cart and checkout page, you do want to make sure that you do have the JetWooBuilder plugin installed. So for me, it's already here because we needed it in the previous video to do the Jet Smart filters. But essentially, once you go on this page, it will be down here, and all you have to do is click on install. Then it's going to pop up here, and then you need to click on activate plugin. As you see, mine is already activated, so we're good to go. Now that you already have the Crocoblock installed and you have the JetWooBuilder installed, the next thing to do is to go down here to Crocoblock again, and this time you're going to click on Woo Page Builder. This is the tab that you want to be on when it comes to creating different pages or custom pages for your e-commerce site. As you see, it says Woo Page Builder because this is going to be everything associated with WooCommerce. So remember, we're building this e-commerce shop on WordPress. We needed WooCommerce to create products and, give us the shop page, cart and checkout pages in general. This gave us the e-commerce functionality for WordPress. But now we want to take it up a notch and we're going to install Crocoblock. That way we can build out custom and dynamic pages for the e-commerce shop. So again, make sure that you are under Woo Page Builder. And underneath here, we're going to create a new template. As you see, I don't have any templates so far. We need to go ahead and create them. And the first thing I'm going to do is click on create a new template. For the template, this section right here, it says this template is for. I'm going to click on the drop down and I'm going to choose cart because the first one we're going to be doing is the cart page. And then now you want to title the cart. Now you do have two things that you need for a cart page. You need the empty cart template and then you need the cart page template. The first one we're going to create is the cart page template, and I'll explain the empty cart a little bit later. More fancy, let's say custom cart template. That way we know this is the one we made right here. And make sure we have template on there because it's super important to know that this is the template that you created. So custom cart template for the title, and I'm going to go ahead and create template. So now if we refer back to the default cart page, as you see, we have the cart details over here, aka everything that's actually in the cart, basically the basket. Right over here, I can see everything. And then on the right, we just have this, cart totals area right here. So essentially a cart page is made up of two main containers. This left container over here is the product table, basically showcasing everything that you have in your cart. And then on the right container, you have the cart total. So you have cart table and cart total. That's what creates a cart page. So those are going to be the two widgets we're going to focus on for our custom cart page. So back here inside of the custom cart page template, what I'm going to do is go ahead and choose a two container section. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and choose this one right here. And what I want to do is actually just move this one. So I'm going to go to the advanced, and for the order, I'm going to choose it to be in. That way I can put the cart totals on the right, aka this smaller section on the right, in my cart table, basically showing everything in the cart. I want that on the left side right here. Now it's super important, like I said, to make sure that you do have Jet plugins and all that stuff installed, because it's going to be very important to choose all of your widgets and dropping them in. As you see, since we have the JetWooBuilder already installed, you see that we now have all of these different widgets, and they already picked up that we're creating this template for the cart page because all the cart stuff is like right here at the very, very top. So the first thing we need, again, the cart table on the left side. I'm going to open the widgets table again and get the cart totals for the right side. Now that's a super duper good tip that I'm happy I'm seeing this now, is to also make sure that in the beginning, remember here, we went on ahead and added some things into our cart just so we can see what it looks like ugly, Make sure you do that. It's going to look ugly, but just make sure you do that. That way, when you're inside of Elementor, you can actually see what you have to design right here. Now, we have quite a bit. I could have removed some and just kept one so we can get the gist, but we have these 4 items in our cart already, so they're going to pull up what we actually have in the cart. So underneath the cart table, as you see, this is the one we're on the left side. You see that at the very, very top of the table, we have remove, thumbnail, product title, price, quantity, and total. And these are all of the items for this particular table. And as you see underneath the table options, if we can just scroll this down, you will see those same top bar pieces right here. So you can just simply, delete these as you need. So in most cases, you're going to need the remove, you're going to need the thumbnail because people want to see the actual products again during the cart process. So I definitely would say keep the thumbnail, the title, the price, the quantity, and the total. You can remove whichever one you want, and you can even open them up. Like if I open up quantity, because I think it's a bit too big, it doesn't need to take up this much space. You can even edit the content with right here. And you can also change it into percentage if you work with percentages better. And there you go. Like I said, depending on what you're selling, you can definitely delete these. So if you don't want total right there, which I don't know why you would delete total, but you can do that. And again, you can open them up and you can make edits here. So let's say you wanted to change the table item for the title, the product title. Maybe you don't want it to say product title. Maybe you just want it to say product. Or I don't know, the product you chose, or let's just say chosen product. You can change this to, make it say whatever you want to say and speak the same language that your overall website already has. Now, if you close this out, you do have this other tab underneath the content that says action controls. And this is some pretty good stuff if you, want to edit it up a little bit more. So if we just scroll down, you see at the bottom, you have the coupon, and then you have the update cart. Now you can automatically choose update cart automatically. So let's just say someone swaps the different quantities for any of the products. As you see, the update cart button is now removed. If people are changing the quantity right there, you see it just automatically starts to update the cart for me and adjust the title. So that's what the update cart automatically is. And of course, if you want people to actually manually click the button, it'll be at the bottom right there. And you can of course adjust the styling, which we're going to get into in just a bit. You can even change the label. So it can say update cart. You can say update pieces. Let's say you only sell, what is it? You only sell clothing. You don't have to say cart. You can say update your pieces or update, you know, your basket. Whatever verbiage you use on your website, you can do that again right there. And then you have the coupon form. You can either toggle this on or toggle it off. I will honestly toggle it off because we're going to use the coupon on the checkout page. We're going to get into in just a bit. But if you want people to apply coupon during the cart process, then you can definitely keep that on and you can update the label and the text right there. But for mine, I'm going to go ahead and toggle that off. And I'm going to make the update cart automatically. That way, none of this stuff is going to be down here. I want it to only be my listing. And as you see, there we have it right there. So the next thing to do is to go over to the style tab. Also, first, let's go ahead and put the totals back. So as you see, if you, let's just exit that out. I want to put totals back here, right? So the next thing you need to do is add an item. Once it adds it, if you open it up, once you add it, you will see table item here. Underneath the drop down, you can now choose what item you want to put. So I want to put the total back right there. And for the heading, I want to just say total. Now, what I will do is go to the thumbnail because I do want to change the thumbnail size. Keep it, as you see, it cleared up the picture of this t-shirt and this one quite a bit because now I have the product images on full. But actually, we're going to keep it on thumbnail size full. But what we're going to do is go to the style tab. And now as you see for everything here, this is the table heading. So right here underneath the table heading, you have all the styling options for this. So you can give it a color of the text if you want to, and the background can be maybe, let's say, our lighter green. You can get really custom with your stuff right here. I'm going to actually keep that for now, or let's actually switch this up. Let's make the color of the text the lighter green and the background our darker green, just because it gives more so of a darker feel. Let's just go with white. We'll keep it at white. This is for tutorial purpose, so I'm not gonna make this look too pretty, but I do want to be a little bit reasonable with my options. But as you see, you can go ahead and adjust this how you see fit. The table cell will be everything in between, so you can work with the borders and everything like that right there. You have the thumbnail, which is the part I wanted to get to, because as you see, if I just close this, you see our thumbnail or the product image is freakishly huge and we don't need it that big. So I'm going to go here and then I can now adjust the width. You can keep it in pixels, we can go in percentages, whichever works best for you. I'm going to go ahead and keep it in pixels. And let's just see, let's go for about 80. I think 80 is perfect. They don't need to be big, guys. Remember, this is the cart. Things can get pretty lengthy depending on how big your store is. So keep your thumbnail size is pretty small. So I'm just going to go with 80. If I just close this, yeah, that's about right. And that's perfect for me. And for the product title, as you guys see, again, we want to make this match the branding, which we're using this light green and darker green color. So for the title, I don't want it to be red. I'm going to go over here to the product title. And for the color, I'm going to choose our primary color that kind of gives off like a blackish color, which is perfect. Let's go and change the size because I want this to be, honestly, it's not bad. The size of that, and it's probably already at 1. No, it wasn't at 1. I think 1 is a bit big. We'll just keep it at 0.9, but maybe let's just change the weight from normal to medium. And I think that add a little bit more to here. Now I can go back to the product title and I could change it for the hover state. So on hover, what color do you want it to change to? And we can go with our secondary color here. We can go with our orange and so on. You guys get the picture. And of course, for the price and the quantity and the remove button, I will keep these all the same. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this side. Like I said, I don't want to make this video too long, but as you guys see, here is our cart table. Super simple, but yet it's very, much on theme. So now let's go over here to the cart table. So this is going to be the right side that's going to be calculating all the totals of everything over here. So I'm going to go ahead and open this. Now you can hide or show that heading. If you, of course, hide it, then all you need to do is go over here and let's just type in heading. And you can just drop your own heading. And let's say, because you can't change that. If I go back here and unhide it, if you see underneath the content, you normally would be able to change the wording of stuff, but you can't. So if you were to hide it, and let's say you want to put your own thing, like let's say instead of cart totals, we just keep it simple and say basket. See, we wouldn't be able to do this and change it to something that we would want it to say because it didn't give us the option. So you can easily, like I said, hide the title or hide the heading, and then you can just add in a heading widget and you can title it what you want, and it'll just, work across the board for all of the cart pages, which is good. So we're just gonna keep it at that. And then let's open this cart totals back up, and now let's go to the styling, because again, this big purple button, that doesn't match our brand and we want to change that. And there we go. That's pretty much it. So if I just close this out, as you see, we now have this custom cart page like so. Now, one cool thing that I do like to do is this. I'm going to add a title up here that just says my cart. That way people can kind of like get a feel of that they're on the cart page, versus it just being an empty cart thing right here. Like I said, you can really get custom when it comes to editing stuff in Elementor. So I'm just gonna go ahead and type in a heading. You can choose whatever heading that you want. You can do animated heading if you got the Jet plugins already installed. I'm just gonna keep it simple for this. And actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to do a divider. And with this divider, I'm going to show you guys something cool. With the divider, you can choose the text element to be inside of the divider. As you see, it now has the divider, but in the middle, we have our text. So for the text, I'm just going to change the text to say in all caps, my cart. Or going back to basket, we can say my basket, right? And as you see, it'll change right here. Now you can adjust the width of this. I'm just gonna go ahead and keep it at 100 because of the type we're going for. And right here, you can of course change the different types of dividers. So you can go with the wavy, you can do the slashes, it's totally up to you. Actually, I am going to do that. Let me do 50. And let's align it to the center like so. Then let's go into the style. So for the style, I do want to change the primary color of the divider to be our primary color. And then the text, I actually like it with the light green, so I'm going to keep it at that. But I do need the my basket to be a bit bigger, so we're going to go to RAM. Let's just go for 4 RAM. That's perfect. Let's go back to the divider. As you see, as the text got bigger, it took up more room of the divider, so we have less pieces of our divider right here. That's okay. We can just make it a little bit bigger. Let's do 70. And if we go into the style, you can adjust the weight. So the weight of the divider pieces. So as it was at 1 at first, and you can just see if we go to 7, they're going to get extremely thick, which is obviously not what we want. So I'm just going to put that at like 1.5. That's good for me. You can change the size, amount, gaps, and all that stuff. Again, I'm just trying to show you guys a little bit of how I would do. I am going to go back to the overall cart section here and just give it a little bit more spacing at the top. I'm gonna go for like 40 at the top, 20 on the left and right, and that's pretty much good for me. Oh, go ahead and put that 40 at the bottom for the space of the foot. And let's go ahead and publish this cart page. And so now that we have it published, let's go back to the dashboard. And the next thing we need to do is go to WooCommerce, and we need to go down to settings. Now it's super important that when you're creating templates inside of the JetWooBuilder that you do connect it to WooCommerce, or honestly wherever you're going to have it on the site, because it needs to read, or WordPress needs to read for this page or this section or this whatever, that it reads that it was created with JetWooBuilder. So again, we're going to go to the WooCommerce because this is for our products. We want to make sure that we go into the WooCommerce settings, and then right here at the top you see JetWooBuilder. You're going to click on that. And this is going to show you all of the different types of templates that you can create inside of JetWooBuilder. And in terms of creating it, you need to come here to now connect it. So as we see cart right here, and we're going to toggle this on or tick this on, enable custom cart, because we just created our custom cart. And for the cart template, we're going to now choose the custom cart template that we just created. And then we're going to go all the way down to the bottom, and we're going to say changes. Now you will see that your settings have been saved. So that means now that our cart has now been set. So let's go back and see if it actually works right now. So this is what the cart page looked like before. Let's go ahead and refresh. And as you see, it did not work. Why did it not work? let me show you why it didn't work. Inside of the dashboard, if we just go over to the pages and go to all pages, remember once you created WooCommerce or installed and activated WooCommerce, it automatically generated this cart page. It also generated the checkout page, the my account page, and so on and so forth. But we want this cart page to actually pull up the one that we just created. So let's go ahead and open this, because it's probably showing the default WooCommerce, and so it's overriding what we just did. And as you see, everything that we just saw is right here. It looks exactly like this on the live front page of the website. So what we need to do is open up the layers tab here, and as you see, this is all the cart stuff. We're just going to right click and delete this because we do not want to show this. Instead, we want to show the template we just created. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And since we actually created the template inside of Elementor, we need to now choose with Elementor. You will see this page here. You will see your empty cart page. So what we need to do is go to the page settings up here. And the first thing we need to do is delete the title. We don't want this title. So let's go to the page settings. We're going to hide the title, and we're going to choose the page layout to be Elementor full width. And that's going to be the page settings for the cart. Now, the last thing you need to do, because for some odd reason, after you connect it, sometimes with the cart page, it doesn't necessarily show what you just created in JetWooBuilder. Now, what you need to do is, not add a container. Actually, let's take that back. You want to go to the widgets, and you want to click on WooCommerce pages. So if you just type in WooCommerce and you see a bunch of different WooCommerce widgets pop up, you want to choose these WooCommerce pages, just drop it in. And for the page, you want to click on the cart page. Because remember, we just already said WooCommerce, you need to take our JetWooBuilder page as the cart page. So it's going to do that. So now for the cart page, when we just pulled in the element of the cart page, you see the cart page we just created is now right here. So now we're going to go ahead and just publish this. And now when we refresh, instead of seeing the ugly one or the blank one, now we'll actually see the template that we created, which is right here, which is super, super nice. This looks a lot better than it did before. It was very blank and bland, boring, no color, but now we have our color going and everything is matching the brand. Perfect. So now let's go with the checkout, because again, this is our custom cart page. It looks good. Now if we were to choose to proceed with checkout, you will see that the checkout page is still looking very boring. It's not on branding, and it absolutely looks just like the default WooCommerce, which we do not want, which is this one right here. So let me show you how to create this one. So again, we're going to go down to the Crocoblock. We're going to go to JetWooBuilder, and we're going to create a new template. There go our cart. Now we need to do a custom checkout. So we're going to say this template is for the checkout, and we're going to give it a name. So custom checkout template. And of course, I could have put page because that should have said custom cart page. So I'm going to make sure I do it for the checkout. Let's do custom checkout page, and we're going to go ahead and create the template. Now again, we're inside of the template. So you see right here, it automatically bumps up the JetWooBuilder widgets for the checkout page. First thing right here. As you see, we have all of these different checkout widgets. So let's see which ones are needed for a custom checkout page. So similar to the cart page, as you see, we do have two containers. We have the container over here that has all of the billing or the information fields for the customer to fill out. And then over on the right, we do have the order summary and the total and things like that. Right underneath here, you do have an add note. So we do have a checkout note button or widget here. And we do have the return to cart and stuff like that. So let's create this inside of Elementor. So the first thing we need is two container section. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to grab it, but this time we're going to get two equal sections Or we could go with this one again. Let's just go with the 2 equal sections for right now. And on this left side, we want to go ahead and start putting all of the stuff in. Matter of fact, let's go with that other one. Let's go with this one, similar to like we did with the cart page. We're going to go to the smaller one. We're going to go to advanced. We're going to order it over here. And the first thing I want to put in here is going to be the checkout billing form, because this is going to put all of those fields out for people to put in their billing information. So their name, their street address, their town, and things like that. Right over here, you can customize the field. So if you were to click on the toggle right here, you can go ahead and remove certain fields that you do not want and so on. And, that'll work perfectly for you if you need to. I'm going to turn it off. I want to keep all of the fields for this checkout page. I'm going to go back to the widgets and I'm going to scroll down a little bit more. Right underneath the billing, I also want the shipping form, because after they put in their billing details, that'll stay on file for me to bill them properly. But the shipping is for me to actually ship the products to them. And the same thing over here, you can modify anything that you want. So the title there, and then you can also customize the fields here too. So you can remove certain fields that you don't want. So I'm going to go back to the elements because there's one more section I want to add on this left hand side, and that's going to be the checkout additional form. So I'm going to pop this in right here, and this is just going to allow them to put some order notes. Let's say they want me to package it a certain way or something like that. It's super nice to have those note sections, but you don't have to add this on yours if you don't want, but I'm going to add it for this one. And that's pretty much all I want on this left hand side right here. So now for the right side, let's say, well, for starters, we need the summary. So I'm going to go to the widgets. I'm going to scroll down, and as you see, you have the checkout payment, and then you have the checkout order review, and both of those is what we need. So I'm going to drop in the order review right here. So basically, this is just a summary of everything that they had in their cart, and since they're on checkout now, they can revisit everything that they have in their cart, and then they can see the total details right there. I'm going to go back to the widgets, and one last thing is going to be the checkout payments, because of course I want them to pay me for these products, so I do want to have this in there as well. Now it's going to come up with this note if you don't have your stuff already set up, but that's perfectly fine because this is just for tutorial purposes anyway. And now if I were to just close this is what we have for our checkout page. It still looks pretty boring. It honestly looks exactly like the other one. So now it's time to really style this up and make it look a bit more like our own. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to the main container, and let's just say you wanted to give it a bit of a color. So let's go with our primary color, but instead of going with the overall main color, let's just go all the way up to the top, and let's just make it a little bit lighter. Something like that. And that's perfect. And now what I want to do is I want to go on this left side with all of the form fields, and I want to do the same thing. I want to go over here, choose the background color, and this time I'm going to also choose the primary, but this time I will make it a little bit more lighter than before, or darker than before. And there we go. Now you can obviously do some more. So if I go to the advanced tab and I add in some padding because I want to have a little bit more space since I just added this color, and I think that's good. And we can even do more if we wanted to. I think that's a bit much. Let's just keep it at 20, and that's perfect. Now another thing for this left container, I want to round it off to make it look a little bit more modern. So I'm going to go to the border, and for the border radius, I'm going to do 20 pixels of border radius, and as you see, it now rounded the corners. And you can do some extra stuff. So for me, when I normally round the borders off, I do go ahead and add a border width. So I'll just go with, let's just say 1 pixels, and then let's choose the darker color. And as you see, there is the left hand side with the billing details. I'm going to open it right back up again. Okay, so now on the right side, since we just finished out this, now guys, this doesn't look the best. Obviously, you can make it look a lot better than that. I'm just trying to show you guys a little bit of the gist of how to create it customly. So now on the right side, you see we have the cart total, or the cart summary or checkout summary, sorry, the checkout order review, and then the checkout payment. So the checkout payments, I can't really just start it too much, seeing as if we don't have payments already set up. But if you do, again, if you just click on it, you have all of these different options here. So if we were to choose that, and let's honestly just choose our items to, let's choose all of this stuff to be white. See, it's not gonna do it. I don't think none of our stuff will do right because yeah, well, we can do that much. Okay, so there you go. As you see, you can still style it up, but of course it's not gonna give the true you know, your payment details, put in your card number and all that stuff because I do not have it set up. But if you do, you'll be able to see that right here. Since we're already here, let's also go to the button. And of course, we don't want that purple button because this isn't a WooCommerce checkout. This is my checkout for Herbie, and I wanted to match my branding. So for the color of the background, I'm going to choose our green right there. And there we go. I'm also going to do the radius again. I'm going to keep this consistent. And that's pretty much it. I don't need to do anything else right there. So going back up here to this one right here, let's also do the same thing. So you can change the heading if you want to, the color and things like that, and the sale and everything right here. You can change this up as you please. So let's just say for the, let's do the price. Let's do that one. Let's do the subtotal, and let's make the text color of that be the light green. So right here, you see they are light green. And if we were to do the total color, let's just say we wanted that to be our primary color. And there we go. Now let's go back up to the table heading, which is here where it says product and subtotal. And let's go ahead and do the same thing we did for the cart page and give it the primary color as for the background. And let's choose the text color to be white. And there we go. Now you can do a lot more. Again, I'm just doing this for demo purposes, you guys, to show you guys how this would be. So let's first just give this some padding. So let's go to the overall container, go to the padding. Let's do 80 and 80 and 20 and 20. And one last thing, I do want to give it some space because as you see, these two containers are like squished up against each other. So let's go to the overall container again. Let's go underneath the layout tab here. And for the gaps, I'm going to give it a, let's not do 15. Let's do 15, not 20. And I think that is perfect. Good for me. Now, another thing you can do is just say you want this side over here to be sticky. You can just click on the overall right container that's holding both these widgets. And then underneath the advanced tab, you do have motion effects right here. And then you see sticky, you can just say to the top. And that way it will stick to the top. As you guys see, it's stuck to the top right there. You can do some offsetting right here. Let's just say you did like 40. That means it'll have some space at the top. So this comes in handy. Let's just say if you had your header that falls down when you're scrolling and you don't want the sticky function to happen underneath the header. Let's say you want to give it some space because naturally your header will be right there. You can do that too. So it's totally up to you guys. But that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and publish this one. Now back in the dashboard again, we want to go to the WooCommerce settings because we just created this JetWoo template. We need to go to the WooCommerce settings, JetWooBuilder, and we need to connect this template to the actual thing that we just created. So let's go all the way down until we see checkout. And here it is right here. We're going to enable the custom checkout, and for the checkout template, we will choose our custom checkout page template that we just created, and we're going to go ahead and save the changes. Now, this is what the checkout page looked like before. So let's go ahead and refresh. And again, we have the same issue, and I did this purposely because I want you guys to remember to do this, or you will be pulling your hair out trying to figure out why things are not working. So we still see that the checkout page still has the default version. Why is that? Is because the WooCommerce automatically set this as the page template, and it's going to override anything that we do until we go in and change it. So let's go back to the dashboard. We're going to go to pages, all pages. We're going to do the same thing we did to the cart. So we're going to open up the checkout page. And as you see, this is the checkout page default. So we're going to go up here to the layers panel and we're going to right click and we're going to delete. And we're going to go ahead and save. And now what we want to do is edit with Elementor. And as you see, similar to last time, we're going to go to the page settings and we're going to just scroll down. We're going to hide the title and we're going to change the page layout to Elementor full width. And the only reason I'm changing the page layout is because my entire website is built with Elementor full width. So I just want to make sure that my pages are matching that same condition. So now that we have this open, we're going to do the same thing last time. We're going to go to the widgets. We're going to type in WooCommerce and we're looking for the WooCommerce pages. We're going to drop that in. And for the page, we're going to choose the checkout page. Once we do that, since we already connected it and told WordPress or WooCommerce to, hey, choose the checkout page that we created inside of JetWooBuilder. And as you see, this is showing right here. I'm going to go ahead and publish this. Now, if we were to refresh this, this is what it looked like before. And now you see here is our checkout page. This is the checkout page that we just created. And here it is. And as you see, our right side even sticks like we wanted it to. Now, there's a few things wrong with this. At the moment, you will see that the page is not full width, even though we set it. And that's because the container that we put it in is still on box. So let's go back into the Elementor editor. And on the checkout page, if I just close this, the Elementor editor will show you exactly what things will look like on the live site. And as you see, we see the same thing and it's cut off. So we're going to open that back up. And instead of doing the page settings, because the page settings is set for full width, we need to now go to the container that's housing this widget and change the content width from box to full width. Now, if we open this, you'll see it stretches across like we want. And let's just go ahead and click on publish. Now let's refresh. And there we go. Just exactly how we wanted it. Okay, so now that I just showed you guys how to create the cart page and the custom checkout page with JetWooBuilder, now the last two things is to do something about this piece right here. So if you notice at the top of the checkout page, we have this have a coupon, click here to enter your code. This does not match our design here, which we need to edit that. And also, if we look at the cart page, you notice that we added this header for the cart page. If we want to keep consistency, we should probably definitely add that on the checkout page as well. So on this checkout page, we need to add that title, and then we also need to edit this right here. So let's go ahead and do both of those things before we have the last piece that we have to do before the tutorial is over with. So let's go back into the dashboard. I already have the window open, but if not, just go to Crocoblock JetWooBuilder. And of course, you want to reopen up your custom checkout page. Okay, so I'm back on the custom checkout template. And what I want to do is go ahead and press this plus button right here. I'm going to add in a new container. Now I have the cart already open, so I'm just going to copy and paste it. Okay, so now we have the title up there that we added on the checkout template. So that is perfect. Now we just have to add that form or the top checkout template. So when it comes to the checkout, you definitely have to create two templates just as well as you do for the cart. We're going to go back to the cart and make that second template in just a bit. But before we get there, since we're already right here with the checkout, let's go back to the JetWooBuilder and let's create another template for the top half of the checkout page. So let's go back to the dashboard. We're going to go to Crocoblock and we're going to go to the Woo Page Builder. We're going to create a new template, and this time it's going to also be for the checkout page. But what we're going to do now is we're going to do the custom, and we're going to type in top checkout because it's going to sit at the top of the checkout. So the custom top checkout page template, we're going to go ahead and create the template. And the cool thing about this top piece is the only thing that it needs is the coupon form. So what we're going to do is go over here, and remember, if you're on the checkout templates, you will see all of the widgets for the checkout. And what we're looking for is this widget right here, which is called the checkout coupon form. We're just going to drag that over here and immediately it will drop in. And this was the same note that we saw on the checkout page. Remember right here, this is what we're going to be editing right now. So now that we have it, the first thing I'm going to do is go to the widget, and the first thing I want to do is I don't want it to be full with like the rest of everything else. I don't want it to stretch too far to the end. So I'm going to just give it a custom width, and I'm going to just go for 65, and I think that's perfect. And what I'm going to do is go to the overall container that it's sitting in, and I'm just going to align it to the center just like that. Now, the second thing that I want to do is to go back into the coupon form, and I just want to edit it up a little bit because by default it has, if I just close this, you'll see that this top border and the icon and even this text is not my brand colors. The blue and red is not our brand colors, so we need to make that match. So we're going to go to the style tab, and you see you have the toggle, the form, the input, and the buttons. So the first thing I want to go into is the toggle, and what I want to do is edit that top bar. So I'm going to go down to where it says border type, and I'm going to do solid, and as you see it put border all around it, but I don't want it all around, so I'm going to unlink it, and the top one disappeared because of course I just removed it by unlinking it. Now I'm going to go back to the top, and I'm going to choose my own. Let's say I want to do 4 width. At first it was probably about a 2 or a 3. Yeah, it was probably like a 3. Let's say I want to do it at 4. And let's say I also want it to be some on the left side as well. As you see, we have it like this. And let's say for the color, I want to use my brand color here. And let's also say we wanted to do some border radius of about 20 pixels, and there we go. Now this is pretty bad. This isn't the best at all, but I'm just showing you guys just how creative you can be and really just make things look like your own. So that's pretty much what we have, but I'm just going to remove this border. I'm going to remove this left border, and I'm just going to keep the top border at 4, and I'm going to choose my color of my secondary color, this green. Now I'm going to scroll back up to, I'm still underneath the toggle. You see I'm still underneath this one because that's everything right here, because this is a toggle. So I can actually change the text of the color text. So I can just go ahead and choose our primary color. This right here is a link. So underneath the links, you want to change that color to, let's just say, the light green right there. You can even change it to do something different on hover. Actually, let's just change it to the orange on hover, and then the light green. I mean, the orange on normal, and the hover would be light green, just like that. And then you see we have this icon here. So for the icon color, I'm going to also choose the green, or I can choose the primary color. The choice is pretty much yours, and you can get as creative as you want from there. And of course you have the form, so you can edit this form. If you want to, let's say, remove this border, you can just simply choose none. You can keep it, and you can adjust it how you see fit, and you can even adjust the button, which I'll do. So for the background color, you know what we're going to do. We're going to change this to our primary color and the text color to white, just so the buttons kind of match throughout the website. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's all you have to do for the top template of the checkout page. Just go ahead and publish it. Now I'm back on the WordPress dashboard. What do we have to do? Do you remember? Yep, you got to go to the WooCommerce settings. And then now you have to connect this template by going to JetWooBuilder, scrolling down until you see the template and choosing the template that you want to use. So I'm going to scroll down until I see the checkout. Remember, we already enabled it to use our custom checkout templates. We already have the main checkout template, but for the checkout top template, we're going to choose the one we just created, and we're going to save the changes. So now if we were to refresh this, you'll see that we now have this coupon here, and if it was to be toggled like pressed, you'll see that we see the coupon option right there, and if we click it again, it'll go away. And that's pretty much the checkout page. So it's a custom checkout page with our 2 sections over here for people to fill out, over here for people to view the order summary, and then go ahead and put in their payment details. At the very, very top, we have a heading so people can know where they are, and it just matches the brand a little bit more. Then we also have our top checkout piece for people to actually put in a code at checkout, which is going to be super beneficial because most times people do like to put their code in at checkout. So that's why this is super important. Now the last template that we have to create is going to be the empty cart template. So right here on the cart page, let's just say we wanted to remove, and remove. You'll see we have another notice like we did for the top piece of the checkout, and it's with that blue again, and we do not want that. And again, to keep brand consistency, we just need to change this. We also see that it also comes with a return to shop button because the cart is empty, and it also again doesn't match the overall tone or vibe of the website, and honestly it's a bit naked. So let's go ahead and create a template for the empty cart. So back on the dashboard, we're going to go to Crocoblock Woo Page Builder. When it comes to creating templates inside of JetWooBuilder, you will always be back and forth over on the Woo Page Builder to create your templates. So again, we're going to create a new template. This time, this template is going to be for the cart, and we're going to name it. Let's do custom empty cart template. We're going to go ahead and create the template. So over here on the widgets panel, it'll show everything for the cart. And this time we're looking for the cart empty message. We're going to go ahead and drop that in. And then we're going to open this up again because we also want the cart return to shop. Now, by default, this is exactly how it looked. If we just close this is exactly how it just looked on our actual cart page, but we don't want it to look like that. So we're going to go and choose a 2 container section. And for the left side, I'll put the empty cart message right there. And for the right side, I'll put the return to cart or return to shop button right there. Now we don't need this main container because we have what we got working right here. Now the first thing I want to do is go to the main container because you see return to shop is sitting up a bit taller or basically at the top of this, but I kind of want it to be centered aligned with this, and I want it to be at the end. So what I'm going to do first is go to the main container, and I'm just going to align the items to the center. That way everything is in alignment with one another. Then I'm going to go to this container, and I'm going to make this button stretch to the end or be at the end, and that's kind of how I want that to be set up. Now going back to the empty cart message, we can do what we did with the top checkout. So we're going to go to the style, and that's exactly what I want. Now for the button, I'm going to choose the button. I'm going to go to the style, and for the style color for the background, let's choose our main color, and the text will be white. Now this is a super simple empty cart. You can do it whatever you please when it comes to how you want it to show up. If you need to browse other people's websites or browse places like theme forest to get some inspiration of how an empty cart page will look, or Pinterest or whatnot, you can do that, and then you can start creating your template right here. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm just going to keep it simple with these two because these are the main 2 things you need. Then we're going to go ahead and publish. Now you already know the drill. We're going to go to WooCommerce, we're going to go to settings, and we're now going to connect this. I'm going to go ahead and do that and be right back. So now that we've just created the empty cart template and we already connected it in the WooCommerce settings, so now let's go ahead and refresh. And now you see ours right here. Now again, it still looks pretty blank. Honestly, you can add a lot more to this page, but you guys get the gist. And now if you were to just simply click on return to shop, it'll take you directly to the shop page. Now that our cart is empty, let's add a few things to the cart. So now that I put 2 things into my cart, this is the cart page. So I can see my basket. I have these 2 shirts. I see for the Dragon Ball Z t-shirt, I do have 2. I can easily just adjust this to 3 because I want to give 2 more or 1 more for my other sibling. And now you see the prices and everything adjusted over here. Now I'm going to go ahead and choose proceed to checkout. And here is our custom checkout page. I see I have the coupon right here. So if I wanted to do a coupon, I can go ahead and do that, but I don't need to. So I'm just going to toggle it and remove the coupon option. I'm going to scroll down. I can put in all of my billing details, and I see all of the pricing order summary stuff over on the right hand side. And that's pretty much how you guys can create custom cart and checkout pages inside of WooCommerce using JetWooBuilder. If you guys enjoyed this tutorial, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what videos you'd like to see next, and I will see you guys in the next